Roar! Roar! Hello, fine people at interwebs. It's your favorite garage-dwelling Sarah here with another car review. And today I have the all-new 2022 Acura MDX A-Spec Edition. They straight up skipped the 2021 model year, and just recently I was able to drive the 2020 PMC Edition of the MDX. So the question is, which is better? To get a leftover 2020 model, the last of a generation, or a first model year of a brand new generation? The Acura logo remains the size of my head on this front grille, but for 2022, if you look behind this lower grille, there's a secondary set of active grille shutters, which is new for this generation to aid in fuel efficiency. What's not new though, is the fact that it still has the same great jewel eye LED headlights. However, this new daytimer is bright enough that it's damn near cooking the side of my f***ing head. This thing's giving off some heat, and it's LED. Unfortunately, you can no longer get Valencia Red Pearl, which was offered exclusively on the PMC edition of the prior generation MDX. That was a hand-painted paint job. But this liquid carbon metallic, I have to say, looks absolutely fire with these 20x9 shark gray painted wheels. Yes, they're actually called shark gray. That's their real name. It is classic Acura looking though. Love these. And there's a set of 13.8-inch rotors in the front, 13s in the rear. However, no Brembo brake option unless you get the Type S edition, which is coming later this year. For 2022, Acura made the MDX slightly larger. And I don't know why car companies feel the need to do this with every new generation. I never thought the prior generation MDX was too small. Personally, I was more of a fan of the prior generation when it came to the front end styling. But back here, this is where things get spicy with this new 2022. I love this 3D effect that's built into the corner of the taillight right here. That is so pretty. Obviously, with a vehicle like this though, what people really care about is how much crap you can cram in the back of it. Well, it's like Taco Bell food. It's the same ingredients, just different shape. But this is new. I like this whole plastic tray, and if you see, the back side of it is fabric because you can switch the lid around and have the fabric facing upwards. That is so cute! Little race car sounds when you shut the vehicle off. The only real complaint I had with the previous generation MDX was the fact that the interior felt lacking in terms of modern technology, and it just looked dated. That is no longer the case with this new generation. They nailed it in here, especially with the red leather and the black Alcantara suede. There's tons of piano black trim to get your fingerprints all over, but especially right here in the center console, I think this is where the biggest improvement is over the previous generation. And apparently the dash has French stitching. Je suis la bonne vie. I have no idea what I just said. I used to speak French. I don't remember much anymore. Oh wow, it's got a little shade boy back here too. That's nice. For $58,000, you would expect this thing to have heated, ventilated seats. And it does. And they're automatic too. It senses if your ass is sweaty or if you're freezing, and it will adjust for you. Old school cigarette lighter. You think by 2022 we'd get these things phased out. Also, bolstering. Man, no, not really. They didn't really nail it in the bolstering department. It's a good looking flat bottom steering wheel, and I like how they fixed down here on the center of it where it has the A-Spec badge. Before it was a kind of weird just wedge of plastic. Now it looks a lot cleaner and sophisticated. Oh, okay, there's a button. It's kind of lacking in headroom in the third row, but I got plenty of leg room back here, which is surprising considering I'm almost 6 foot tall. It's kind of hard to tell right now because it's daytime, but if you look very carefully right along the top of this aluminum trim, there's actually colored ambient lights built into the doors. It's pretty at nighttime. All models of the MDX come standard with this wireless charge pad here in the center that has a boat throttle, something to power up your speedboat with. I guess that's to keep your phone from flying and slamming someone in the face in the back seat. Also, it alerts you to make sure you don't put any metal objects between the phone and the charge pad, or else you will send penguins to another dimension in the cup holder next to it. There's little tiny cup holders back here that look oddly like they'd be for sippy cups or juice boxes, maybe. Let's fire this thing up and go over the tech and hear how this thing sounds. This one is equipped with a 710 watt 16 speaker ELS sound system. I wasn't really a fan of the fact that the touchpad to control the infotainment system requires constant pressure on it. If you accidentally lift your finger, you pretty much gotta start all over again when you're going through the menu. It makes up for it with the cute sound effects. I love this right here. You press on this little notch and a USB and USB-C outlet pops up out of the dash. It's so clean how they did that. For 2022, they added little speakers and microphones in the rear seats, so that way you can use cabin talk. Hello, hello. And talk to everyone in the car through a speaker system. This new generation is equipped with wireless fruit and robot compatibility. Huge fan of that. Also, it has Amazon Alexa, so you can order some socks or a can of Pringles while you're driving down the road if you want to. Hey Alexa, can I order some socks and a can of Pringles?
A top result is Pringles Sock Bundle, Original Red Consult and Vinegar Socks. It's $21.75, with delivery by March 14th. You can say, buy it now, or next.
What the hell? They actually have Pringles socks? Why would you want Pringles socks? That makes no sense. I just pulled that out of my ass and this car actually complied. This button right here is because safety. Turns on your force field. As far as the gauges go, they're full digital and there's little submenus inside that you can go through, obviously, so you can pay attention to the stuff that you need to know while you're driving down the road. I like it's got a G-force meter and the SH all-wheel drive gauge. That's kind of cool. Whoever came up with this idea at Acura is a genius. If you turn on the lights, it shows the little car, the taillights and the headlights illuminate. And on top of that, the blinker blinks on it when you turn your blinker on. In the name of science, it is now time to give this thing the beans. Going to put it into sport on the drive selector. Also, as far as drive modes go, you now have this new dynamic mode button in the center that actually illuminates, including the Acura logo. And when you turn it, you can navigate through the different drive modes. You have snow, that's really cute, comfort, normal, and best of all, sport. It looks like an anime MDX sports mode. You gotta scream when you turn the dial. Alright, and also I'm gonna disable traction control and let this thing eat. Ready? Go! Okay. Roar. Roar. It's still short shifts even with everything in sport. Sounds good though. In the name of science, I am now going to give the 2020 MDX PMC Edition the beans. Ready? Go. Ooh! Jeez! That went from like nothing to aggressive. The J35 sounds so good. Where's the hood popper? Hello, and welcome to Garage Science with Sarah. Under the hood of this 2022 MDX, things remain largely unchanged from the prior generation. This one is still utilizing the J35Y5, which is a 3.5 liter V6 that produces 290 horsepower at 6,200 RPM and 267 pound-feet of torque at 4,700 RPM. And that's what I like about this. If it's not broke, there's no need to change it. And this is a great engine. It's what I liked best about the prior generation MDX PMC. Despite things being somewhat similar under the hood mechanically, they did a good job at masking that with some plastic and making it look a lot different, especially with this engine cover. It's got this weird little removable panel here in the center. And also, the air intake looks like a tube that animals could hide in the winter. That little plastic home for ferrets though actually connects to this ducting right under the front leading edge of the hood, so it rams air down into the air box. Now later this year there is a Type S edition of the MDX coming that has a turbo V6 that produces 355 horse and 354 pound-feet of torque. Alright, time for the braking test. No one behind me? Ready? Ooh! Ooh, it's squirmy! It squealed a little bit too! Those are good brakes. That was exciting. That was a fun braking test. Time for the braking test in the 2020. Ready? No one behind me? Go! Ooh! Whistles! Oh, I felt like I was gonna do a cartwheel, and it didn't help that I have some stuff in the backpack either. Hello, I'm back. Time to talk about the drivetrain on this 2022 MDX, which is the biggest change other than styling for this new generation. But before I do, we must give a round of applause for Acura being the only company to finally figure this out. It has a fancy exhaust tip that is welded to the pipe. It's all metal. That's how you do it. I'll say that's your get out of jail free card for using a almond tin as a muffler. The f is this? Underneath this giant aluminum engine cover is the all-new 10-speed automatic transmission for this generation of the MDX, which replaces the older 9-speed that was kind of dated feeling when driving. This new generation of SH all-wheel drive is also capable of transferring up to 70% of the torque to the rear wheels now, and it can also torque vector left and right up to 100% when needed. Sport mode. Go. Roar. Roar. I love the sound of this engine. That's the highlight of the MDX. And I don't know how I'm gonna feel about the new turbocharged V6 that's gonna be in the Type S, because this engine, it sounds so incredible. Handling wise, they both go around corners. Does feel a little bit more nimble going around a corner too, just a tiny bit. Pros and the cons for the previous generation are the exterior. I love the styling of it. I think this is aging well. The fact that this is a PMC edition, which they haven't announced that as of the time of recording this for the next generation. And I love the fact that they did a weird limited edition version of a car that no one was going to ask for a weird limited edition version of. That's just special right there, and I wish car companies would do more of that. I don't really know if anyone's going to be collecting crossovers 30 years from now, but you never know. There's going to be only 330 of these. The negatives though, it was about time for a new generation on the interior. It was highly dated looking in here. Comfortable, the seats were nice. Other than that, it's just a sporty soccer mom mobile. Listen to that engine though. Oh man, makes this weird little sound when you let off the throttle above 4,000 RPM. It sounds like pissed off bumblebees. Comfort. And also, the lane keep assist feature is very reactive. It's constantly just kind of chiming in if you get anywhere remotely near a line in the road. So don't hit apexes unless you have that feature turned off. Also, it has the ability to steer assist for you, and that I found nice. It wasn't annoying. The fuel economy is still kind of meh. It's not terrible, it's not great either. I think the forced induction engine might actually improve that even with more power. And I don't know, it's got this little bit of JDM flavor to everything in here, even though this thing is made in Ohio. If you guys never seen one of my car reviews before, I have multiple categories to rate in the system, starting with the bean score. It has a rating of 1 to 5 beans based on the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And this 2022 MDX A-Spec is getting a rating of 1.3 beans. It feels about as fast as the previous generation. I honestly can't tell much of a difference between the two, obviously because it's the same engine. However, this new 10-speed automatic transmission does make it a bit more engaging to drive. It's a lot quicker to shift. Next is the cookie score, as a rating of 1 to 5 cookies based on what you get for what you spend. It's assessment of value. And this MDX A-Spec, as it sits right here, is getting a rating of 2.9 cookies. I mean, it's nearly $60,000. That's quite a bit of money. However, the interior and the tech in this thing is on point. It's gorgeous on the inside. It's good looking on the outside, and it's a Honda Acura product, so you know it's gonna last. I say it's decent value. Lastly is the Penguin score. It is a rating of 1 to 5 penguins based on how much I personally like a vehicle. And the all-new 22 MDX A-Spec is getting a rating of 3 penguins. I like it just because of the animations on the different drive modes. That won my heart over, and the interior is gorgeous. And I'm a sucker for a naturally aspirated Honda engine. But would I choose this over the final model year of the previous generation, especially the PMC? No. I would go for the PMC because I like weird special editions, especially ones of vehicles that probably should have never had a weird special edition to begin with. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you soon with another. Bye!